So an invitation was issued by the Latter Day Watch channel a couple weeks ago, I think, for all LDS content creators on YouTube to create a video explaining the difference between faith and works and grace in the LDS faith. What do these things mean? What do we believe regarding these things, and how best to explain it? Because there's a lot of misconception out there. A lot of people don't understand what's going on. So, I am accepting this invitation. Now, we were supposed to upload these on May 1st, which was yesterday, but, you know, I'm a day late. I think it'll be fine. Now, getting into the subject at hand. Most people will tell you that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is a works-based faith. That you have to work your way to heaven. You got to check off all the proper boxes. You got to show that you've done everything. And only when you have done all that you can, then you entered in heaven. And for this, they give a very simple quote. And this quote is found in the Book of Mormon. This is 2 Nephi chapter 25, verse 23. Very famous quote. Let us read this. For we labor diligently to write, to persuade our children, and also our brethren to believe in Christ, and to be reconciled to God. For we know that it is by grace that we are saved, after all we can do. Now, the claim is made that this is saying that grace comes after our works, that we have to qualify, we have to earn the grace of God. And they'll say, grace is a free gift that cannot be earned. And while most of Christianity believes that, the term grace doesn't actually mean that. Grace can be earned. Or at least not exactly earned, but qualified for. So for instance, if you take out a loan and you get a time where you can't quite pay your back, your payment's due on the 5th, you can't pay it till the 8th, well, we give you a grace period. A period of grace where we say, we will not take any action, we'll give you a little extra time. That's a grace period. That's not earned, but it is qualified for, because I can say, look, in order to get this grace period, you have to have had 6 months of on-time payments. If you've missed 3 months in a row, no grace period. So grace cannot be earned exactly, but it can be qualified for. And that's an important distinction here that we must make. But before I continue with this, I just have to point out that the church has actually made a beautiful video on this point. Back in the 90s, a seminary video called Faith and Works, an Analogy. Very simple. It's a little bit long. It's not too long. It's about an 8-minute video. I want to show you part of it here. Not the whole thing. We'll cut it down a little bit so that we can get most of it, get the gist of it, understand what it's saying. So watch this, and I'll see you.
I bet this is gonna get a lot worse before it gets any better. Let's go ahead and set up camp here.
We're not going to make the supply drop on time, are we?
We've got the best pilot in the business. He's not going to let us down.
But we are in trouble, right?
Yeah. It's not a matter of us making it to the pole anymore. It's a matter of staying alive.
I don't care if I ever see the inside of that tent again.
Oh, I know what you mean.
All right, here's the situation. 4 days ago, we were right here. During the storm, the ice that we're on moved 36 miles southwest. Not only are we 4 days behind, we've got to make up those miles. Now, if we push ourselves 40 miles a day, we can be at the drop zone in 3 days.
40 miles.
Wait a minute. If we're just trying to save ourselves, why are we still going to the pole? Why don't we just head back to Eureka?
Eureka? You take a look at the map, we're at least 300 miles away from Eureka. We'll never make it.
But it's only 120 miles to the supply drop.
Let's say we get there and the pilot's not looking for us anymore. We've spent 3 days going in the wrong direction.
Listen, Corey, Josh is the best in the business. He's the only one who can get us out of this. We've just got to trust that.
Well, I don't. I trust me. Look, I know I can find Eureka. I don't have to trust in it finding me. I think we should just get out of here instead of sitting around here talking about it.
That's exactly what we're supposed to do. Everything I've been taught about rescue procedure says one thing. You stay put until someone finds you. You know that!
That would be fine, Lou, if we were on solid ground, but we're not. We're on a massive moving ice. Where's he going to start looking for us?
If we just stay here, we conserve supplies, we conserve our energy, and we give Josh added time to find us, right?
Lou, you're forgetting one thing. He's not looking for us here. Even if he was, we drift far enough every day to get out of his search pattern.
I don't know. I know one thing. I believe Josh will find us. We stay and we wait.
Well, I tell you what, Lou. You stay and wait, and I'll send somebody back to pick up your frozen corpse.
Listen, Corey. I promise you one thing. We'll never make it on our own. We've got to trust the pilot. And Lou, it's pretty hard to find a moving target. We need to do everything we can in our own power to get within his search pattern. I say we ski as hard as we can towards where Josh is expecting us, and trust in his abilities too. That was the plan from the beginning. That's what we agreed on. What do you think?
So that's our analogy. Note, they're in the Arctic. They need to be saved. They can't save themselves. Note the three perspectives here. We have first Corey. He is a works-based philosophy. I don't trust the pilot. I trust myself. I will do it. I can save myself. He wants to head back, but you can't go back. If you try to save yourself on your own merits, you're dead. On the other hand, we have Lou, I believe was his name, and he is the faith-only philosophy. I believe that the pilot will save me, so I'm going to sit here and wait for the pilot to save me. That's faith by itself. But the LDS doctrine, the true doctrine that is taught in the Bible, in the Book of Mormon, all of this comes from the third perspective. We can't make it on our own. We cannot trust that we can save ourselves. But at the same time, we must make sure that we are in a place, in a location, in a state in which the one who is able to save us can find us. This is what it means in the church that we are saved by grace after all we can do. Christ is out there. No, I do know. The pilot's name is Josh. I like that in this video. I just want to point that out. Because after all, Jesus is the Greek form of Joshua. So calling the pilot Josh makes for a great analogy. Christ is out there. He is searching for us. He has told us, if you come here, I will save you. You come here, and I will take you out of this hellscape, of this wilderness. But I am searching in this area. You know, one other thing, in this analogy, he's not searching in one place. He's not sitting in one place saying, you come to me and then I'll save you. He has a search pattern. He is searching wide in all areas, but he can't search everywhere. He has set the boundaries of where he will search. What are these boundaries? They are the ordinances. They are the covenants that we make. Baptism, faith, priesthood, the temple. These things set the boundary wherein Christ is searching for us. And if we do what we can to get within his search pattern, we will be saved. Now remember, one other thing that even in this analogy, it kind of has, or it's in a sense implies, that grace only comes after our own works. That's not truly accurate. Even in this analogy, even though we can say it kind of implies this, it's not really saying this. Because note that it is the agreed upon plan. Josh is out there already circling. He's already doing his search pattern, and he is out there every day. Christ is searching for us every day. Grace is already there. We don't qualify. We don't earn it. We don't have to do things and then get the grace. The grace is there. We just have to seek it out. And when we find it, grab hold of it. It is by grace that we are saved. Then all we can do. Grace is already there. Grace is in place. But we must do what we can to qualify for it and to use it when we get it. Now, there is one last quote I want to share with you here that really drives home our dependence on Christ. That it is not our works that bring about salvation. And this is found in 2 Nephi chapter 9, verses 8 and 9. And it says here, "Oh, the wisdom of God, his mercy and grace. For behold, if the flesh should rise no more, our spirits must become subject to that angel who fell from before the presence of the eternal God and became the devil, to rise no more. And our spirits must have become like unto him, and we become devils, angels to a devil, to be shut out from the presence of God, and to remain with the father of lies in misery like unto himself. Let that sink in. Without the resurrection, everybody born on this earth is condemned to hell. And I don't just mean the spirit prison. I mean outer darkness, in the chains of Satan, under his power, under his control. Without the resurrection, there is no salvation of any kind. Resurrection has to come first. Without the resurrection of the body, without salvation from physical death, everyone is condemned. Now consider this. It says in the Book of Mormon that children are saved. Children who die before the age of accountability, which is the age of 8, they are saved in heaven, but only because of the atonement of Christ. Without his atonement, without his resurrecting power, even children cannot be saved. Remember, it is through Christ that we are saved from physical and spiritual death. From the first spiritual death and physical death. Neither of these come by any work of ours. All men are brought back into the presence of God. Even sons of perdition, even the most vile, will again stand in the presence of God, and all will be resurrected. These things are a free gift. They come through the atonement of Christ. We have nothing to do with it. But once we are saved from that first spiritual death, then, after the grace of God, we must do what we can to increase, to gain more. That is where our works come in. It is not salvation from hell that our works have anything to do with. It is not salvation from physical death. Our works determine our reward in heaven after the grace of Christ, after the atonement has been applied to our lives. Works come after, not before. Grace is the foundation of salvation. Without the grace of God, no matter what we did, we are all condemned to hell. Because of the grace of God, we are given the chance to become worthy of a greater reward. On a final note, where does faith come in? Well, faith is the principle of action. When you believe a certain outcome is possible, you strive for it. In our video on the analogy, the only reason to strive to get within the pilot's search pattern is because you believe the pilot will be there looking for you and that he will take you to safety. If you have no faith in the pilot, as Corey had no faith. So his only thought was, if I go that way, I am going the wrong way. I have no faith in the pilot to pick me up, and I will waste my time trying, so I will try on my own. Without faith, you will not do what you need to do. You don't get baptized for the fun of it. You get baptized because you believe that doing so is what God wants you to do. You believe Christ's statement that when he said that those who believe and are baptized will be saved. You go to the temple because you believe that in receiving your endowments, you will receive the power of heaven in your life. If you didn't believe you would receive that power, there would be no point in going. You get sealed to your family because you believe that in doing so, your family will last through eternity. When you act on something that you do not believe in, you are a hypocrite. You are lying to yourself and you are lying to others. Just like Ananias and Sapphira, when they sold their property and they gave only a portion of it to the church, and then they said they gave it all. They weren't acting in faith. They didn't believe that in donating to the church, that in consecrating these stuff, they would receive the blessings, that they would be taken care of, they would have what they need. They did not have the faith, but they wanted the recognition. They wanted the social currency that came with appearing to be a faithful member. They acted hypocritically, and God called them out for their lie. That's what faith is. So we will all be resurrected. We will all be brought out of hell. All this is done regardless of what we do. Christ has done it all for us. It is a free gift for everybody. But if you have faith, then you will do the work that is required to gain the higher blessings.